What's up guys, it's Rise Ryan here. I'm going to be giving you my very awesome Relinquished deck for June 2015 post-CROS Souls. This deck it's not really a deck, it's a deck based around Relinquished, and Relinquished is awesome and I love Pegasus and I can't wait until the new Toon stuff comes out. But for now I'm playing Relinquished. Well, I've been playtesting with it and it's just a really fun deck, and I want to show you guys the deck profile, so I'll get straight into it. So for starters, we have 3 Relinquished. You could say he's the boss monster of the deck. He's pretty amazing. Once per turn, you can take one of your opponent's monsters and equip it to it. You can only equip one monster at a time, and when it's destroyed, the equipped monster is destroyed instead, and we both take damage. So it's pretty fun to play around. And then 3 Searcher, which is the Manju, so you can search out Relinquished or the Ritual spell card. It's just, it's necessary to play at 3 because it searches out your cards. We don't play Senju, just because we're playing 3 Mathematician. Because we want to mill certain cards in this deck, and Mathematician, we can choose what we want to mill, and then we get our combos off like that. And so for the monsters that we do mill is Scam. Well, during the end phase you get to search level 3 Fiend, but we also mill Fearless and Shadow Dragon, and as well Glow Up Bulb. Obviously when Fearless is milled, you get to special summon it and use it as a tuner, or destroy a monster on the field. With Shadow Dragon, you can pop a spell or trap card on the field, and with Glow Up Bulb you can sync it with Mathematician or another level 3 monster, and then summon Herald. So there's just a lot of options for Mathematician to mill. And as well, during the end phase, when we do search out with Scam's effect, we do have Tour Guide and then 2 Djinns, just because 1 sometimes isn't enough and we like to have it in the graveyard. So yeah, so this is like the build I've decided to go for. We do also run Mathematician and Thunder King just for a bit of a stun. We do play a lot of Light and Darks and so Blackluster Soldier is pretty amazing. So that's the monster lineup. I know, it works pretty well. And I actually like the way the deck's built. I mean, I don't want to run like Sonic Bird or Senju, just because you can get a lot of dead draws. And I just like the way that this deck is built. So moving on to the spell cards. Okay, so we have 3 Black Illusion Ritual. It's the one that you summon Relinquished with. It's very easy to summon, you just need 1 or more stars, so it's easy. And then Preparation of Rites to add Relinquished back, and then that from the graveyard as well when we need it. Then we are playing 2 Mystical Space Typhoon just for problem back row. And then as well, we are playing 1 Foolish Burial just to dump cards in the graveyard, Scam or Djinn. So that's why, and then Raigeki and Soul Charge. Because with Relinquished, you can use Soul Charge to bring it back. And just say you have 2 in the graveyard, you can use Soul Charge, bring them both back and still 2 monsters. So, and as well in this deck, there's a lot of other options that you can bring back with Soul Charge. I mean, you bring back Thunder King, you can bring back Glow Up Bulb, you can bring back Fearless again. There's just so many options. So that is it for the spells. So let's move on. The trap lineup is mostly just for protection, so we're just playing some good traps. So we are playing 3 Mirror Force, just because our monsters are quite weak, some of them. So if your opponent does attack, you can Mirror Force it. This deck hasn't got the best matchup against Cliffort, just because our monsters don't Relinquish can't affect any Cliffort monster, so we need to get rid of them somehow, so that's what Mirror Force is for. Playing 2 Fiendish Chain just to negate opponent's monster's effects. It stays on the field, so Fiendish Chain's really good. 2 Call the Haunted. just because there is a lot of cards that we want to bring back. If your opponent searches a card, you can Chain Call the Haunted, bring back Thunder King. You can bring back Relinquished and steal a monster. You can bring back Fearless and then use it as a tuner. I mean, there's lots of options why we are playing Call the Haunted in the deck. It's really amazing. The one thing griefing, just because we can send the Scarm or we can send the Djinn to the grave, and you can mess up your opponent's graveyard because you can target the card and return it back to their deck. So it's like, it does 2 effects in 1, it's pretty amazing. And then we are running 4 1-ofs, Solemn, Bottomless, Torrential, and Bandies. Pretty standard, but those are just to disrupt the opponent. Pretty much they're all there to disrupt your opponent. And yeah, that's it for the trap lineup, and then we'll move on to the extra deck. So we start with Synchro Monsters, 2 Herald of the Arclight. So you would summon this by using Mathematician. You can send Glow Up Bulb and then sync it. Or if you have Glow Up Bulb in your graveyard, you can just special summon it with a level 3 and summon it. So when any monster that is sent from their hand or deck to the graveyard, it gets banished instead, so that's very good. And as well, you contribute it to negate any effect, and then when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a ritual monster or spell card from your deck to your hand. So this is like another Manju, so Herald's really good. And then we do have 1 Armades, just because sometimes you can summon it, and yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. And then 1 Black Rose Dragon to blow up the field. When you have Mathematician, you can send Fearless and then summon Black Rose. It's a pretty amazing play. We've got Stardust Dragon. When Fearless on the field with another level 4, you can summon Stardust. And then just 1 Leo just in case it comes up. I mean, sometimes it does. So that's it for the Synchro Monsters. Then we play 1 Lababla Chain just because we can send cards from the deck to the graveyard or stack a card. But generally, yeah, we can send cards to the graveyard, get their effects off. Staple cards, you know, play them because they're all staple. You know, don't really explain them, they're pretty amazing. Karagorgon's there as well to protect your Relinquished or any other monster you have in the field that you don't want your opponent to target. Or, you know, play a Dante for rank 3s, Nightmare Shark, and wind up Zen Maidens, just because they're pretty good rank 3s. You don't have to play Dante. I mean, I've only just put it in, but you can play Olivia, the Sea Dragon, over it instead, because that works pretty well. Sometimes you can bring back a banished card, but Dante is just handy because you can recycle your Scarms when it's sent to the graveyard, and you know, it's only there really just for an Exceeds. I mean, it's not that necessary. So that is it for the Relinquished deck profile, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I hope you got some ideas from it. If you do know a good Relinquished deck profile, please let me know in the comments because I'd like to see it. And if you do have any questions or suggestions for this deck, I'm keen to hear them as well because I do really like this deck. And that is all. Thank you guys for watching. This is Ryan out.